today, Rinpoche completed the section on generosity and clarified how to give material things as well as how to mentally give things. The Yanjer, Sumja, Dunju, Jeshu Jadu, 86. Miku. Okay. Nipa Tomanuna, de? Okay. Okay, so we're going in English. I'm just trying to find the exact part. Let's see. 86, number 2. What to do if you are unable to give. This is the section we will begin on, page 137 in the English. Number 2, it says B, so in the Tibetan it just says 2. Obviously there's not A, B, C. So we have that, number 2. And Jayan Sheba states that in this section there are 5 categories. Sachenga. There's 5 categories. So this is where we will begin today. And thank you again, everyone, for coming. Okay. Just trying to find the exact du shao. Then the mambo yomare. Du shao. Du shao. Stupid.
The dana chi du jise. Nula chapa manjushin. Shikalama de nul chagumares. Joba mebala gashin. Iran ramba jiwu nyanto. Sansos otoba tambure.
San Jujao Sangso Kabire. Nama chu Dujao. It's Dene Dedang La
Sansos otoba Samo.
Samo. Oh, ale Samo.
Otoba tambure.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just getting the break point exactly in Jayan Sheba's commentary. So there's 5 sections. When we say divisions in Jayan Sheba's commentary, he's really saying there's 5 points here. There's 5 sections that are discussed in this one section. So it's not as much division. It is divisions, but it's not divisions like you would notice normally in the philosophical teachings. 8 divisions of this, 6 divisions of that. These are really points within the point. So just as a side note, you must give outer teachings. I'm sorry, let's try that again. Number 2, how to give outer things. You must give outer things if the timing is not prohibited by the teacher with respect to the recipient, and if the giving the gift to this person is appropriate and suitable. Moreover, if you as the giver are a person opposite to that explained above and are stingy with regard to a text, you must give it to a person who asks for it and who wishes to understand it, even though you may not have finished using it. Let me just make sure. Okay, I believe that is Ditarsan. Okay. Ngait Sampa Digson. The Rinpoche, the Dang na Chiwit Dugi Se Norla Chapa the Becha Matsar Yene Matsar
Matamba Yina Chi Duji says and Chinurota Shidula and Nola Chapa Majushi Jimbatan Jabayina Chi and Nola Chapa Yungumares Joba Mela Geshe Lharampa Joe Nyado Samos what Tombo Tombo.
Giving this away, I may be stupid. Then they Jewa Shema nga Gupa de Nipa. Okay, so I believe, let me just see as we move forward and make sure of that, but there wasn't really commentary given on it. It's here the teacher is in, you must give outer things if the timing is not prohibited by the teacher, meaning if the Buddha has not prohibited giving at such a time, then you have to give it. So that's the point. That's the only point that Rinpoche expanded upon was you must give outer things if the timing is not prohibited by the teacher. Meaning if the timing is prohibited by the teacher, by the Buddha, then it's not appropriate to give it. And if the giving of the gift to this person is appropriate and suitable. Moreover, if you as the giver are a person opposite to that explained above and are stingy with regard to a text, you must give it to a person who asks for it and who wishes to understand it, even though you may not have finished using it. And there's something more in the Tibetan here. I just don't have time to delve into it. And that's what's holding me up. But I'm going to move on from there. Diksan Rinpoche.
Tata Sanjang Tama Nunas, what did I was Santan, the Nanda Down Nugumuna, Sanjang, Don Manuna, Jimba Don Manuna, Dana Dadun Tuchus, Gita Mamite, Tijan La, Tijan Le Don Moadan, Monton, you send you on to Chobadan, Yuan Lambit, Tawadan, Dadan, Dagan Zembala, Nebalages. Toma nuba de dadun zimba da dagun zimba da demba truba zimba da daga da demba truba zimba da daga demba truba zimba te lamba res neba lajes jebu tamba zoban zeji jebu tamba so ngai te tamba nuba de zoba guru dans zoban zeji don manze du sus e don manze du sus Swata Manjing said, Tatar Chudan, Sentient Tanji, Samba Duba, Jua, the Header Dagi, Jew, Shell Hombola, Goasonji, Goa, Shower, Trashujanji, Shubali Sons, Sons, what did. The
Rinpoche Tetsugo Nge Jun Nge the Loka the Loson Tetsugo the Karma Chik the Samazu the Nge the Loka Loson. Okay, so I made a mistake. I think probably people who are here caught that. Number 2, I read number 2, the page before, and it's a very similar sentiment. If you look in the English, it speaks about stinginess in the first sentence. So I was trying to relate it and thought there might have been a mistake in the translation, and the mistake was that I was reading the wrong part. My error. Let me go back, because now I read it while we were going through this, and I figured out where the breakpoints are very clearly in the midst of that. So let's start this again. Page 137, B. What to do if you are unable to give. If you are overcome with stinginess when someone asks for something, think as follows: the material thing and I definitely going to be parted by death. It will leave me and I will leave it. So I might as well take pleasure in giving this away, gawa, and put it to good use. Make a separation just at the time of death. Yeah, that's it. If I give this away, I will not have attachment to my wealth. Chapama. Okay. When the time comes for me to die, I will have no regrets that will give rise to feelings of pleasure and joy. So this is where. Okay, that makes sense now. I apologize again. The first break point is. The second break point now is where Rinpoche has started. Luckily, I didn't get too far in. Now is where Rinpoche has begun the second explanation. And let me just go... there was something Rinpoche said about the point that I made about the teacher and the time. There's some point that is made in here. Just let me take one moment here. Okay, well, anyway, I don't want to revisit it because we're already into a second part. But I'll have to look into that when I go back and look at the film. Number 2, if you are unable to give away even though you reflect in this way, then inform the person who asks for it by means of the 3 things that they should know. This is described in the questions of the Householder Ugra Sutra, which states that you should say, I am new to the practice of the Mahayana and still a person of small ability whose roots of virtue are not yet ripened. Also, I am under the influence of an ungenerous attitude. Further, this is when I knew there was something wrong, because remember she started talking about emptiness, and that's when I knew there was no emptiness in the first part. Further, I have a strongly grasping view of self, and constantly conceive of a self and that which belongs to the self. Dene the nipa kabaka.
Nipa tero nipa.
Nipa tasar.
Nipa kwa shela trashu jinshin shuba le songsos.
Songso.
Nipa ro nipa tsande. Dene sa te ode songba de leware. Trashu jinshin shuba le songsos ode nipa tsande.
Songso. Okay, so excellent persons, please forgive me and do not make it difficult for me. I shall try to do the best. I shall try to do just what satisfies your thoughts and the thoughts of all living beings. Let me see. The thoughts of all. It might be the next sentence as well. The sung. Sungi. Okay, then the somba the good soro na, then the kabar tsar injike ha kogore.
Somba what's all done tamba ina ne hanken don ha banigal deba sagmares deba so musub sud den de dos da den pensu do madebi neba jen pon shir yinje sana neba meba ne maide chancela sana meba laudu le sonsos sana meba laudu le sonso jan dedra shena sana chunur matri pomba keban rawo so what does not dabaina sana chunur matri chancela pomba de ngomares pomba keban rawo pashin duba le jan 제다들 홍어도 원주장 항상 질 레바이나 신도 투충 진바 마누나 제바 마누나 상게 레송나 제바 땅 마누나 제네장 홍아보 마포 마주바스 네 홍아보 마포주요 마레스 노데 상게 레송나 조당타나 제주요 마레스 마주바 잠비 치기 디 이장 요스 기차 잠부 쉐고레스 콜라 네 오다마니 주센도스레스 잠비 치기 디 이장 요 신지 농아 정도 원주나 마오바는 하게되는 용소나 진네 이치 마와 먼저 와스 네 마오바디 하게 레소나 이치 마음저 이치도 어디마 리그 마레스 먼저 와 좀비 쭌나 나바세와샤 좀비 쭌나 다만이 비쭌도 걸어 나바세와샤 세바 용소 봉시 내대샤 셰소스 어디봐도 송바 차네 송바
Rinpoche, the Chiran, that's nga yure, yene sumbagut sogudu. Sheso, dene the jembi, gegi nyempo, demba la geni, dua le jung what shit.
Ora, then the Jebaren on there.
Gangisene Chiran, the nga yure, yene the sar. Ngai kandre gangisene.
Sene nyeba meba ne, maide, shansela, sene meba laduli so de dereja. Somban jibare.
Ngapa kabiore.
Jiba dere, jiba ngabarwa, ngaba.
Gangisene sumbagut sogudu. The chat, ngate sampa the
ngaba dere gubi, pentu, pashin Jesus. Ngaba dere gubasa, what the ngaba yongdwa. Dere gubasa ando.
Yomare. The sarpa's good sogudu. Jimbi gegi nyempo demba la geni. Dua le jungwa this sumba. Then ewa je yure. Magomba dan gupa dan chapa dan jepo.
Wenjang said the Jebari do Wenjang the Shena Sene Junamiti Pambakiban Raos Pashin Duba Legends Chetal Hong do Wonju Jang Shin Tuchun Jiba Manuna Chenan Huang Mabo Majuba Jambi Chikiti Hijang Jo Shinji Huang Tondo Denma Jiba do Denmarisha Jiba.
Then she shouldn't marbe.
Not
too low, then they tamonipa sumba keo mare chishina.
Ngaba the Pashin Duba Reja, Pashin Duba.
Parshin dupa? Then jipa kabiare Rinpoche?
Jiba Wenjang said to the Wenjang.
Okay. Wenjang, okay.
Wenjang, the Shena, Sene Chunum Madri, Pomba Kibandao. Sene Chunumati Shansen Pomba Juro, the Yungu Samares, Kibandraos. Pashin Duba Le Jang, Ne Jedal Hua, Ngodo Wonju Jang, Shindu Tuchun Jimba, Manuna, Jenel Hua Mapo Majuba, Jambi Chiki Janjus, and Kulkeja Yambishi Waters. Shinji Jondo Wonjuna, Jene, Yichi Mawa. Menjoa, Jumbi Juna, Nabasewa Jas Naba Dereja Tata Naba what the Teresa Andu.
Yeah, the reason we're having trouble is now there's a trouble on the we're not sure if the commentary is not lining up. It's in the Tibetan now. I'm clean on this one, but there's some issues, so that's what's going on now. Apologize. Rinpoche is trying to find the 5. We're getting to 4, and then it seems to end with the Compendium of Perfection. So I would like to, Rinpoche's read this now almost 2 times, so just from a translator's perspective, I just want to read it and then we'll go from there. If we want to move on to 3, we can. If not, we'll be able to do that if I've at least already read it. So let me read. I'm going to read the whole section. If you are overcome with stinginess when someone asks for something, think as follows: this material thing and I are definitely going to be parted by death. It will leave me, and I will leave it. So I might as well take pleasure in giving this away and put it to good use, making a separation just as at the time of death. If I give this away, I will not have attachment to my wealth, and when the time comes for me to die, I will have no regrets and will give rise to the feelings of pleasure and joy. That was the first before. If you are unable to give it away, even though you reflect in this way, then inform the person who asks for it by means of the 3 things that they should know. This is described in the Questions of the Householder Agra Sutra, which states that you should say, I am new to the practice of the Mahayana, and I am still a person of small ability whose roots of virtue are not yet ripened. I am under the influence of an ungenerous attitude. Further, I have strongly grasping view of self and constantly conceive of a self that belongs to that self. So excellent persons, maybe the 3. So excellent persons, please forgive me. Do not make it difficult for me. I shall try to do what satisfies your thoughts and the thoughts of all living beings. According to the Compendium of Trainings, this is to eliminate the further fault of losing confidence in each other, but it does not get rid of the fault of stinginess, a fault that in the Bodhisattvas that is looked down upon. Still, it seems that doing this prevents the cardinal transgression of not giving the teachings and wealth because of stinginess. Also, and then the Compendium of Perfection states, if you cannot give because your ability is so small, though people come and ask you for something, so as to not make them feel low, comfort them with gentle speech. Henceforth, when people come to ask for something, do your best not to make them feel low and despairing, and clear away the fault of stinginess. Earnestly strive to eliminate craving. And Kangalosun. Okay, so we'd have to go back. He's saying the 5th is the quote. So then we have between in this paragraph, we'll.
Manu na wen jang hwa ma bo ma ju ba jang bi chi ge ti jang ju xin xi hwa zhong dong ju na jin ne yi chi ma wa men ju wa jang bi jun na na ba sa wa sha si ba yong su on shi ne den sha xie so so de ba de.
And so that's number 5. Again, we would have to go back. We'll see what Rinpoche does. Then a chair on San lugar yube. The je gutso, then samazu. Okay, so we're going to move on.
Hong Bong to Hong Belezona, Ne Shinto Tuchung Jimba, Manu na, General Hong Mabo Maju, Ne, what the Tudon Talas of Jeju Mares,
Lesso,
Kisha Yabisha Gures,
Lesso,
what did the Jugudua?
Lesso. So looking at the Compendium of Perfections, it states that if you cannot give because your ability is so small, though people come and ask you for something, so as to not make them feel low, comfort them with gentle speech. So if you aren't able to give something to someone and they come and ask you for it, and even if you think, well, I have such a small ability, why are they asking me for this? You shouldn't use harsh words. You should explain to them gently in a nice manner why not. So it's saying that you should use gentle speech.
Okay. jet josana magomba chires, tambaji, guba nebares, chaba the sumbares,
Lesso.
and the jebo maton what the ngabadre, ngabasabur, jebarwa,
Lesso.
jebadres, ta, jebares, tam, jembala magomba in a jembatan numarote, jembatan geshe gorota.
Lesso.
Tamba magomba ne, tala tamba de magomba ne, jemba she, ze, jendo, Huambala, Jim de Bades, ne le long, Jibatan, Yubaina, ne Huambala, Tang de Bamabades, Mendebade, T. Nebone, Nebandene, da Jimbala, Kumba Majepe, Lambaganso, Nyato, Nyon Ribashine, Tian Jimba Matana. Jiwa shima jimba la mago njuru nyado susu tade jimba shejes magumbi nyebi ondo mandan os or ge dambu do wata badrendoa
Lesso.
na magumba sede
Lesso.
ta kalelu nju jandizare.
Okay, so now we move on to number 3. We have relying on the remedies for the hindrances to generosity. So there are specific hindrances to being generous, and what are the remedies for those? So it says, according to what is found in the Bodhisattva levels, Compendium of Determinations, there are 4 hindrances. The hindrance of not being used to generosity, and as we stated before, but it's important, I think, this not being used to, the word in the Tibetan is the word for meditation, that the word gom is used. In English, we translate gom as meditate. It literally means to become familiar with. That's the most literal way to translate what we translate as meditation. It would be becoming familiar with. So this first hindrance is the hindrance of not being familiar with generosity, not having meditated previously on generosity, not having a familiarization or a meditation previously on generosity. Number 2, the hindrance of declining fortune. Number 3, the hindrance of attachment. And number 4, the hindrance of not seeing the goal. And again, this word, the goal, the word for result is what's in the Tibetan. So not seeing the result, not seeing, there's a cause and effect, not seeing the effect. So that's literally what it's saying, the hindrance of not seeing the effect of something. So that's number 4. So Rinpoche read all of number 1. The hindrance of not being used to generosity. The hindrance of not being used to generosity is when you do not want to give to those who ask for something, even though you have material goods to give. The remedy for this is to avoid succumbing to the shortcoming of not being accustomed to generosity by quickly becoming aware, examining the situation, and reflecting, this shortcoming is definitely the result of my previously not getting used to, not getting familiar with generosity. And moreover, if I do not make this gift, I will dislike generosity in my future life as well. Then be generous. Diso.
Taniba gubaro guba. And le long show member in a jobachano. And on a guba. Niba ne long show hajan chua la dene. Don't you say much about this? Jala Jobachana, what is Lulon, Jibatan, Mebaina, and what is Jibatan, San of the Yomares. Lonjo Hajan, Chuan Latene, don't you say much at this, Jibatan, San of the Yomares. The Nebuchadnezzar Santan was in the Nebune, the Yantos, the Santan Waters, Dakoana Kuite, Parula, Pen Mataba, Huajilesan. Ne jenju wandu chube chekun la sube dunge zoga mabu nyona wate jimba matan debul chekun la sube dunge mabu nyona te jimba matan debul es kete jen la penta bala tene kete jen la jimba tan la sube penta bala tene chon yus Pentabala tene shon yu tsis. Pentabala tene shon yu tse. Shui Tsinti Dunga de Da Chiang, Dala, Dalan, Jimba Kuna Leges, Tsinti Dunga des, Tsinti Dunga, Tsindil Gangan of Dunga Namatana, Da Shiba Inaya, Chiangs, Dalan, Jimba Kuna Leges, Shiba Inaya, Jimba Dan Yabures. Jimba Kuna Leges, Homa Bishar Dubane, Tata Mayintis, Honkan Lesuna, what the Jimba Tamadus Lubaina, what Lebu Mares, Tata Mayite, Lonshu de Majan, and then Honge Jian, Roma Tanji, Tos. And then Lonshu de Mabaina, and then Zubun Sodagres, Satan Dinagres, and then Jian Roma, Tanji, Tu Nyado, Sana, to Kishima Tambaina, or the Satan Dinagre, and Santane, Pombi Dungete, the Tantola de Jimbasheba Wosa. Pombi Dunga, what the Jimbatan Chubishagre. Satan commander the Chaba in our day doing a Kayo Marison Santana, what the Jimba Town Gures, Sheba Wosa.
Pombi, Pombo Yomare, Pombi, Pombagare, Pombi, Pombi Serna?
Pombi is a Kabado.
Pombi Dugna. Pombi, there's Sane Pombi Dugna.
Kabado, Chin Kabado.
The, Longshu de Meijang. This Sumba.
Niba.
The Longshu de Meijang do Nge Chijang Rung wa.
Longshu Mejans, Honga Jian Rong Tanges, and the Longshu Meba Yinaya, Lonshu than the Shubut and the Meba Yinaya, Honga Jian Rong Tanges, Tos. And say them than the sun and dig this over vegetable. Longshu the Majang Honge, Jia vegetable to the sun and dig this over. Honge is the Mosella or Mose.
Nyamdu san ne Pombi Dugno. Pombi Dugno.
Honge Jian Rong Tangi, and the Longshu Meba Yina Honge. And then Honga Jian Rong Zhangji, Zubu Tugres, vegetable number than the 7 degrees. 2 Nyado, Saldane, Pombi doing at the down, Pombi doing at the town to long Gures. Could do at the Unakayo Mare, Pantundres, Saldans.
Okay.
Lesser. Yeah.
Okay, so number 2, the hindrance of declining fortune. The hindrance of declining fortune. So this refers to when someone was previously wealthy or had, we use for Longshu the word for wealth or enjoyments, or had many enjoyments, who then loses them somehow, loses their wealth, has a decline in fortune, decline in wealth. So this is referring to that type of person, someone who is being asked to be generous, who has declining wealth or has lost their money somehow, become poor. The hindrance of declining fortune is when you do not feel generous because of the sparseness of your resources. The remedy to this is to make a gift after you willingly accept the suffering of poverty, thinking, during the time that I have been passing through cyclic existence, I have not helped others and have experienced many unbearable sufferings, such as thirst, hunger, and the like, because of being under the control of something else. That is my former karma. So even if I die from the suffering of this lifetime on account of helping others, it is just better for me to be generous, whereas to turn away the person who asks me for something is not all right. Even in the absence of those resources, I will survive on some sort of wild plant, or Rinpoche is saying some kind of vegetables in the wild. So it's saying that this is the mindset that you should have. Dig some Rinpoche.
That's somebody in Chaba the Lulong, 차바제나 담마누바이나 송바 진짜의 제신도 이동원신 초도 줘발라 차네 송아발라 동의 샘 미저와데스 차비용하고 르롱절 차네 근데 송아발라 진바 담은 누구요 말레스 미저와 상로도 미용고 말레스 미저와데 디냐바 가산당고는 차비 냐바데 뇨아 리바시네 차비 냐바데 네 차바들 냐바요바 준요바데 주부 생거 시바제네 뇨아 리바시네 다동해와레 도우냐도 다동해와라 도우냐도 뒤지 신주로도 제반데네 네 셰말라 동해제바 이노냐도 시네 대본데 녀부데 짐바시바오사 짐바시바스 다시제 제들로데 차바진 담마도바이나 네 차비 녀부스 차비 쥐다 녀부산다네 안오데 살당 오레스 오데지바 송바데서
Then Rinpoche, the Shanchu Sembala Geshe Gangisene Susu Ngatsu the Chalatamche the Jimbadana Ngatsu Sem Chipu Yomare.
Shanchu Sembala Sungo Dangasu Kangalo de Nyane Joyaro.
So I was asking Rinpoche, I said this section of the text is speaking to a bodhisattva. This is speaking to someone who is quite realized. But then Rinpoche said this is something that we try to practice like. We try to emulate these great beings. So this is advice for us, but this text in this section is talking to a bodhisattva when it's saying just give everything away. So I asked Rinpoche about that. Is this speaking to an average practitioner, or is this speaking to someone highly advanced? And he said it's speaking to the bodhisattva, but this is who we are trying to emulate, who we are trying to kind of copy, if you will. So the hindrance of attachment is when you do not feel generous in as much as you have become attached to extremely attractive and excellent material goods that are to be given. The remedy for this is to quickly become aware of your shortcoming of attachment, and then to think this mistaken notion that thinks I am happy with regard to what is the nature of suffering will bring me suffering in the future. Understanding this, eliminate your attachment and give away your material goods. So one needs to, in this section, the point is to look at attachment, look at the faults of attachment, and then look at once you've arrived at the understanding of the faults or downfalls of attachment, then you'll wish to get rid of it and then wish to rely on a remedy. So this is 2 points here, the faults of attachment that one meditates on, and also the remedies that one relies upon to get rid of that attachment. Dikso.
Shimba tangwa la tenne, zubi shang chun chungwa, penwe na ma tongwa, shimba tangwa na sanji gongpo toba la subi, penwe yoba de ma tongwa, longshu chenpo penwe la tenne, tongyu sen chewa des. Shimba longshu tenchi de, shimba tangwa la tenne, sanji gongpo toba la subi, penwe mabu san tangna, ane le longshu shimba tangwa la sanlo du yonggo des. 동이 산저와데 디녀번에 녀바데 뇨아 레바시네스 아네 레부마통이 녀바데 뇨아 레바시네 저 되지 단지 깨지르네 지바다 시단 되지가 마다버레스 깨지 지바다 쳐바데 르롱시 간데지나 혼지는 지지 저와 때네 니마 마다나 다다 텐데 다나 다다 텐데 다나 다다 텐데 야슈레스 때네 짐바 간동 탄지 샤주 쳔보 용수 홍어 짐바 간동 탄지 워데 zubi sanji gomon tubi jur kong kores, cheta jasu chana chuzi dara jasu magamba temaze, tejin shanchu yangan gawa yang shanchu matuba temaze, shenpa te zubi shanchu jur kongba ina, Jimba taken Jebate, the Sanji Goboma to the Castle Notion Dua Yomares, Chutiba Jason Sabayina, Jasu Macamba to Jasu Segumaro, what then Rapares, something said.
Okay, number 4. The hindrance of not seeing the goal, or literally, the hindrance of not seeing the result. The hindrance of not seeing the result is when you do not have in view the benefit of reaching perfect enlightenment that is contingent on generosity, but instead consider the benefit of a great amount of resources and then give things away. Let me reread that. I think I read it wrong. The hindrance of not seeing the goal is when you do not have in view the benefit of reaching perfect enlightenment that is contingent on generosity, but instead consider the benefit of a great amount of resources and then give things away. The remedy for this is to quickly become aware of this shortcoming, then consider how, in general, all conditioned things perish moment by moment, and how, in particular, resources perish and leave you, and then fully dedicate the giving of any gift for the sake of great enlightenment. So one, in this case, is thinking about the benefits of generosity and what the results will be from generosity. So the goal here is the result. The result of generosity, if it's dedicated, it says in that last sentence, is Buddhahood. So if you think about that result, then that will make you want to practice. You'll see this as beneficial. If you're thinking that the result of my being generous is that I'll become a Buddha, by thinking of these benefits, this makes you want to engage in generosity. So it's a hindrance to not see the result of generosity, not seeing what will come from your generosity, because it won't inspire you. You'll be uninspired to give if you don't think of these benefits and have a familiarity with what will come about from this. So that is the point that's made in this. And in this last sentence, it says, fully dedicate the giving of any gift for the sake of enlightenment. And the very famous quote from the Buddha is, just like a drop of water from a bucket that's put in an ocean is not extinguished until the entire ocean is extinguished, or does not dry up until the entire ocean dries up, I think is what it says. And likewise, any virtue that's dedicated towards becoming enlightened, towards full enlightenment, will remain until it becomes a cause for that result to occur. So that this has been stated by Lord Buddha, and when we're looking at the importance of dedicating, the importance of literally pointing whatever virtue we're engaging in at a certain result that we want it to, like setting our it's almost like an aspiration for that. It's an aspiration for that generosity to give rise to your Buddhahood. So that's what the dedication part is, and that's why it's so important, so it doesn't perish. So it becomes a cause for Buddhahood. It doesn't become a cause for some daily happiness of some sort. It becomes a cause for a real result. So this is the importance of dedication, and this section really is what we're thinking of is the benefits of generosity. And what are the benefits? The benefits are the result of generosity, which is ultimately Buddhahood. Geshe Rinpoche, je pasar.
Ta wonama tezno longsho la soba nami zang la tawa ne rinji shir yuji tangji phomba memba yin la tong cong la cong jaba ina ne cong je na khasang te yong ro ta khasang to jis so na yong ma res so na mo to ba yin do longsho chenmo to je taba ne mo to des cong je ne wo den je na ku tabi jun ro ma ro taba mo to de jijabales ayande jijabale.
Where are you? Rinpoche kabiare.
Dagi te jugul.
Jipjale kabiare. Page cherang kabiare. Peik.
Pedro da sonja jachu jaji.
Jachu jaji.
Ole ya son tru. Du jeba tro jeba.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Longsho la su namen zang la tawanes. Longsho la su namen zang la tawane. Rinji shire yuji tangji phomba meba yin la tong yu, tong la tong jaba yina, kasang ten yung kor was, katsang to jis, so na yung ma res, gwa yung ma res, so na ma tu ba yin tos, longshu chenpo to je, taba ne ma tu tes, tong jaba na wate taba to ma ro, tabi jul ro ma ro, taba ma tu te, jijaba les.
Rasam, gay rasam.
Dejin pa ye, jinba le, drebu chenpo, jonjo she, len dang yong su tongwa ne, chongpo jin to penpa jor she soos, chong jaba yina waten drebu chenpo yong ma re, sanji gong to ba yina pento chenpo yong gore chong den sa ma re ba.
Okay, so then there's a little bit more we read on. If you give while merely considering the karmic result of generosity, resources, and the like, you will obtain a large amount of resources, but you will not obtain a liberation. Just as business people who give without any hesitation all their goods to others for a price merely get a profit, but do not obtain merit. Aryadeva's 400 stanzas says, "From making gifts to this person I will get a reward, great reward. Such getting and giving are looked down on as being like wanting profit in business." Here it's stating that it's just saying that the motivation and purpose needs to be for the actual gaining of full enlightenment and not for things, not for more things. If you give while merely considering the karmic results of generosity, resources, and the like, you will obtain a large amount of resources, but will not obtain liberation. So if you're just considering that, Rinpoche, I forgot, Rinpoche said, if we look at the Nagarjuna's Precious Garland, where it states that from giving comes the enjoyments, from ethics, happiness, etc. If we just look at from giving comes in the enjoyments, or can be translated as wealth, so from giving comes wealth. If we only focus on from giving comes wealth, then we're missing that the real point is liberation. And we will just get the wealth, but we will not achieve the liberation. So we need to look at it as a cause for Buddhahood. So that's the point that's being made here, that the motivation behind the giving needs to go beyond just seeing the cause and effect relationship and then being influenced by that and saying, oh, I would like resources, so I will give. You need to look further to the ultimate goal of a Mahayanist, which is to achieve complete Buddhahood. Okay, Dixon. Okay. Okay, so now we've moved on from the giving of actual things, of the actual giving, to giving which is just mental, so mental generosity. So physical generosity and mental generosity, this is a mental generosity. So this is number 2. And Jayan Sheba Gatsi, there are 4 categories according to Jayan Sheba's commentary. And again, the Jayan Sheba's commentary is, the text is called The 4 Interwoven Commentaries on the Difficult Points of the Great Treatise on the Stages of the Path to Enlightenment.
Ember sonde yi na tu du ne samba ta jin hin taba ne dan yu jin ba sha yu chu jin ba na yu chu na tu ba ja chen bu pa du me ba tu bi chu ne xin jian na la jin ba me ba xie ba wo sa tang bu de de samba zang jin ba de ember son ne tene susuki sanlu dans le jimba tang tene le longe momo 5 tune santane embra son de yi na du ne samba ta jin hin taba ne ta yu jimba sha yu chu na tu ba ja chen ba de ba tune sanlu ge sanlu dans ne tu ba tune se je na la jimba membership of Osa. The Tambo. Sambata jiba ji non tambu de wote. Yamba son de da ene na bu de mamesa de balrona. An san de tangores.
Lesso.
Yamba son de yi na du du ne. Samba ta jin hin taba ne. Tang yu jimba sha yu chu na zu ba ja chen bo ba do ma ba chu ne sen san da ne. An jimba ta wa chu ne san da ja ba de ro. Wote jimba de san wote re se chu ne sentient na la jimba me ba she ba wo sa. Sentient na la jimba tang gu yu su san tang gu res me ba she ba wo.
Okay, so the first category among the four is as follows. Again, this is category number 2, the generosity which is just mental. The generosity which is just mental means that after you go to a quiet place and then withdraw your mind inward with a pure motivation and faith from the depths of your heart, you construct with your thoughts an immeasurably vast quantity of diverse gifts, and you then imagine that you are offering them to all living beings. So this is number 1. Rinpoche read it twice. The generosity, actually 3 times. The generosity which is just mental means that after you go to a quiet place and then withdraw your mind inward with a pure motivation and faith from the depths of your heart, you construct with your thoughts an immeasurably vast quantity of diverse gifts, and you then imagine that you are offering them to all living beings. The generosity which is just mental means that after you go to a quiet place and then withdraw your mind inward with a pure motivation and faith from the depths of your heart, you construct with your thoughts an immeasurably vast quantity of diverse gifts, and you then imagine that you are offering them to all living beings. Tenzin Losong. Did say.
Badu maba piwa na, tenyang, shangchu samba shira jenji, jimba shawa, jimba shangsa le song soos, wate shangsa ombu nuba ge, jimba tanga ka chuidu wate resi da, ombu nuba chuka wate, susu lulong shio, jala tena meba ina, ene le song ne, wate chu ne, jimba chu ne tanga wate le, Okay,
so number 2 is short. This increases merit immeasurably with little difficulty, and moreover is the giving of wise bodhisattvas according to the bodhisattva level. So when we divide bodhisattvas, we have bodhisattvas of dull faculties and those of sharp faculties. So that's always, dull and sharp faculties. So those of sharp faculties are offered to emanate offerings. Rinpoche used the word that's for emanate, but to make offerings in that way, and emanate offerings. It says, with your thoughts an immeasurably vast quantity of diverse gifts. So it's like emanating them with your thoughts. So I just want to make it clear, Rinpoche used that word for emanation. So you're actually imagining these things are going to the beings. Not in your mind, you're imagining that they go to the beings. Dene? So if you have things to give, you don't have things to give, no matter what, doing this mental meditation is very beneficial. Doing this mental offering is very beneficial. So by thinking that I give my body, I give all of my things to all sentient beings, this increases our merit, as it states in the text, immensely. It's of great benefit if we can think along those lines. Nika Yimba. Dik.
Jobada Madembe, the Shawa, Lazang Shubale, Son Jans, Joden Jejan, Richard Toga with the Sandan Ketchubares, Rich Jejan, Shamuro mai no sa ko so no shibare de ro.
Leso.
What is somebody?
Sumba. So number 3, although it says in the Questions of Sabahu Sutra that this is to be done by those who do not have wealth, it is appropriate for those who do have wealth to do it as well. So as Rinpoche mentioned, if you have wealth, if you don't have wealth, making this is very beneficial. Decent.
Ta jeba longshue chenbo mebi se jimba jetara shebi shiro jenji jimba nane shiro jenji jimba nane Hasan Nabatabi Satan Hasan Nabatabi se menro Hasan Nabatabi se Satan tambo matuji ba do yinjes Hasan Nabatabi Satan niba somba sajuro Satambo matuba de yinjes
Satambo Haksan Yomari. Satambo Ming Laksan Yomari. Satambo
Rado Gawa
Rado
Gawa
Leso.
Niba drama meba
Leso Dene Garshini de Tambo.
Satambo matuji ba de yinjes Satambo matuji ba de yindu Solan jolan menshi le yimbare Menshi
The
yinjes
Julam Gecheshe?
Solan jolan de matubi kanza tuzu le yinjer oda
Shine Latong Julam? Okay, Agongya Mepichi. The Gang de Kensa.
Longshue maybe the Jimba Shayi, Shiro Jinji, Jimba Nane, Hasan Nabatabi, Satamu Matujibado, Injis, Satamu Matubaji, Zantal Tangwaris, Sat Tune, Satamu Tune, Longshue Jipomba Mazid, Satamu Tuzadutene, and then Longshue Pomba Yomar, Bed Riches.
Satambo, Shanchu Sembi Satambo. Okay.
Satan Shanchu Sembi Sama, Timmy Satambo Yomaro. Pomba Mazid, Chansale, Chansale, Papa to me, Chansale, Tana, Shanchu Samba Ne, Chesi Samba Nabara Taba, Matuji Bado, Longshue Tada, Mede. Monshe tada mede Mendu jindo Shiro jenji Jimba sheba yinos Mendu jindo Ne shubu tanda meba yina Tanda tui shaba tanda sanda Dinzaro tui sanda shaba Jimba sheba yino Shanju senpa Lasan naba taba ne Chetabi Ngansun le yang taba Deba tuba njowa tans
This is Zupa. The Julam Zupa.
Julam Zupa.
The Nesun Yanjer. Nyawa Yanjer Yongomari.
Zotu Ngandu Yomoton so Mamul Koya.
They can't sapo do. Then they Konsogari Gechishe. The Tambo. The Julam Laksang Gechishe. Tonlam Satambo Kongari Gechishe.
Shansa Letetera Shanchu Samba Ne.
Go ahead, baby cheers.
Chesi Samba Naba Tabia Matuji Bado. Longshue Teda. Mendes Samba Taba Matuji Bado de Longshue de Yomares Mendu Jindo Longshue de Meba Yina 500 ans and what Jimbata Santan Rigres the Shiro Jang Jimbares Shiro Intelligent Jimbares Shiro Jimba Shiva Yenos Shanchu Samba Habi Samba Nabataba Shanchu Samba Habi Samba Nabataba Chetabu Ngansun le Yantaban de Bas. Ne Shanju Samba Ngansun Machiga what Tang Yoroda. They were Tubanjoas, Tubanjoa Shuguro, Tubanjoa, Tabo, Sero Tanjedo, Longshue Semesheba, Tubanjuros, Otan Santama in Sero Tangel Rich Yongores, Juro, She Sombe Sauce.
Then Honsol Haksan Lena, then Por Yomare, Shupo.
Shanju Samba Chisi, that Shanju Samba Najin Shubo de Yungo Jumaro. Okay,
decent. Just I'll read this and I'll tell you what we were talking about. These ways, so number 4, These ways for wise bodhisattvas to give when they have no resources are employed until they attain the first level, the level of pure wholehearted resolve, whereupon poverty and resources no longer occurs. For the bodhisattva level says, Thus, this is the giving of gifts for wise bodhisattvas while they have no resources and until they attain pure wholehearted resolve. Just as bodhisattvas of pure wholehearted resolve obtain a state which transcends miserable rebirths, so also they attain inexhaustible resources in all lifetimes. So this is the intelligent give in this way until they attain this first level. And this is the discussion we're having. What is this first level? Wholehearted resolve, the Lhaksang, which is the word in here they're using, is generally a word that is special insight. And here it's the wholehearted resolve. And it's used in... it's usually used, this haksam, let me reverse that. This word that's used here is usually used as the cause for bodhicitta, this wholehearted resolve that happens just in this 7-point cause and effect, the step number 6. So we're trying to figure out, is this the first bodhisattva ground that they're speaking of, which is called the joyful? There are 10 bodhisattva grounds. Is this the first bodhisattva ground, the joyful that they're speaking of? Are they speaking of, if we look at which transcends miserable rebirths, there are some that say at the patient stage of the path of preparation that occurs. Others say that it happens at the path of seeing, where the first bodhisattva ground would be. So we can infer by that maybe this is speaking of the first bodhisattva ground, the ground of joy. But that's what we were trying to figure out, what this place that they're talking about specifically is on the path. Then the Satambo Charan Sampa, the Shansa, then the Nesum Yanjer Yongomare, then Garere, the Klatsam. Let's go on, read it. 389.
Shansa Tata Shanchu Samba, Chisi Samba Naba Taba Matuji Pato, Lonshe Tada, Mete, Mendu Jinto, Shero Jinji Jimba Shiba Yino, Shanchu Samba, Lason Naba, Labi Samba, Tabane, Labi Samba Tabane, Lason Tabi,
the Gare,
Lason Tabo, then the Momaja, Lason Tabatene. Hason Senjil, Hason Tabi Senji, Diba Pombi Senjis, Tijin Senjil, Iwa Mobuja, Hason Tabi Senji.
Jidre Menga Dun, Laksam.
The Leguer, Hason Tabi Senjis and Beji, Satambo Tabale,
Satambo.
Momukoyando.
So Rinpoche is saying there are many wholehearted resolve points on the path. There's a wholehearted resolve bodhicitta, Rinpoche is saying. And usually when we refer to the wholehearted resolve bodhicitta, it's the first bodhisattva ground because that bodhisattva has seen emptiness at that point. So there's this that bodhicitta then is a wholehearted resolve bodhicitta. But then there's also wholehearted resolve that happens just prior to achieving bodhicitta. Which is the cause of bodhicitta. So Rinpoche said there's a lot of wholehearted resolve mentioned on the pathways. If we're looking at this looks like it's speaking to the first bodhisattva ground, which is joy, the joyful. And that is where, at the path of seeing, when the uninterrupted path is finished, the path of release takes place, and at that point one's on the first bodhisattva ground, and according to text, no longer, as the translators note, no longer born in the lower realms. So we find that even in the Lamrim Chenmo. So if we use all that information, we would probably arrive at this is speaking to the first bodhisattva ground, and that wholehearted resolve that occurs there. So
Mabatabi Senji, Murdan, Hassan Tabi Senji, and then Murdan Hassan Tabatan, Jibapum Senji, what in the Jija.
So in the Dodejen. So in the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara, we find Lord Maitreya speaks about these, there being 4 levels of semche, of the mind that aspires to enlightenment, the awakening mind. And the Rinpoche didn't list them all, but he said that the first is like an aspiring, the second is called the wholehearted resolve, and third, he said something about suffering, and then didn't list anymore. So there are 4 according to the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara. So we do find this wholehearted resolve, bodhicitta, categorized in there as well. So we could look to that text to see where that falls categorically within the paths and so forth. Digsun. Okay, so when we look at the main outline, Jimmy. So Tambo, Jimmy
Ngonje, Jimbalango Bitaje, and Jimmy Yawa, Son de Ma Dune, then Dune Shegorota, the dog don't do us, Jiba the dog don't do us, Jimmy Gon, Jimbalango Bita, Jimmy Yawa, some of the man, Dudujin on res, Jiba the dog don't do us.
Lesser. So when we look at the generosity, we have the general, how to train in the bodhisattva deeds in general, the general, and then we have the method, and then we have the divisions, and then we have a summary. So now we've arrived at the summary. So sometimes definition. So definition, nature. So the first is definition or nature, second method, third divisions, and then fourth summary. So now we're at D, which is summary.
Jiba Tadak Tunduane, Shansenji Domba Zan, Shanju Sembe Domba, Shanju Sembe Domba Zone, Shanju Sembe Domba Zone, Satumbi Jimbala, Sotu Nam Pembi Yudo, Shene Jonga Dance, Shanju Sembe Domba, Shanju Sembe Domba Le, Satomba Jubi Baji, Shanju Semba Jimba Tan, to the Gandam Halang to the Nyalanche waters. Mambo the Nawa Tabo, Jibatan never shows, Planta Wures. Plutuna, maybe you do, Shene, Joan Dance, Hasheba Tabu, Jeton la Tatane, and the social down to the Longe, Jibatan to the Tatane Yalanche waters, Tatane, Juba Nan Jan Naga Leba Shene. Shene Ruba dance, and the Jimbatan, Machuba dan, Chubi, or the Kaba to Pama Jimbatan Chu, my sons or Talma, or the Pama Jimbatan Chu, Machubalas of Mamosons, or the Sheba Jagures, Leber Sheba, Sheba Shene Ruba dance, Chebado, Le dans Longetan, Chebado, Le dans Longetan, Le Jimbatan. Longe Jimbatan, Gaza Jimbatan, Sini Yambo Tanjin, Sini Yambo Tanjin, Jimba, what the Sini, Sana Jonsona, Jimbatan Tomorrow, Sini Yambo Guru, Sini Yambo, Sini Yambo Antidote, Tanjin, Don't you look at Jesu, Tonala, Sini Yambo Dan, what the Jimbatan Lode, Jesu Tonala, Bebra Shene. Jibatan Tag Sanlo to the Jin Jiba Yungage and Tashi Wures, Shene, Tatanyaso Lambala, Gagumba, the Jibaton, the Yana Jibala, and the Gagun Gures, and the Gagun Gures. The Susu Goal Gagumba, Susu Goal Jesu Ramarba, Jesu Rajino, the Goadia Pungurta, Gagumba Tan. L'autre Majan B, Majan Bala, yi dungwa je gu des majamba la yi dungwa je gu de yi le wa de ka su go tenga de di mu samba sang lu tang wo se ma do dungwa je de da ma je na la zang ge shu ba le son ba tar tsro jen do chen de le kan tu ju du jen ba dang ma ba na de na ne shang chu samba tu mu su ge jen ba dang tu ma lang je ne maybe yu do what the Nyalent and Majena and the Mahobanet and the Soro Shamanas were Jobicha and Wures. Tata Majena Lazan Gishiba Le Sombatar Soro Gento Che Chung Jimbi Pajin Zoba Sheni Jotanda Kantu Judu Abajeba Yina and Joa Shamanaso Kale Meba and Jimbi Nyalan Lelab Yungures. Zuba Shenu Ji, Tada Tanji, Tone, Tada Tanji Tone Janana, Tsendayan, Yaba Shintu Jawa Naji, Juntu, Kuban Jolas, with the Jima Matava Jutan Jeba Ina, Tsendele Yaba Mama Yungures, Jola, Tsera Jentuan, Juni Madaba, Jimata Manu, Jimatani Mandaba Yungures, Mandube. Shangju Senbi Shoba. Shangju Senbi Shoba la Joba Shindu Kawan Jorosa. And the Shangju Senbi Shoba Yuado, the Galikabi wood. Tanda the Kanjum, Kantu Jetu, Santan, Pelana, the Jabaina, and the Mahaba and Soso Shangju Senbacha, or the Labian Woodes.
Lessa.
Ju shiro, Jean, Passion du Balès, Jemba Dendi, Zawa, Shanchu Saint, Jemba Dendi, Zawa, Shanchu Saint, Dendi, Jemba Tondu, Tematan, Jeden Nana, Tondu Saint Demba, Tondu Nana, Chuji Jayuson, Cheson Batar, Chebi Den. Shangchu ji sen jesu tenzin gomba tang. Shangchu tu kwenxin, pelan deba ne tongwa tangji ji tsawa tang, tongwa tangji ji chu yinbe, delan beba shade, dene la zang shubi tuen du ne du ba wos. La zang shubi tuen du bi ne du ba wos. Wata batre.
Okay.
And then what the Tsendele Kanjumbajan and Mahobani
Okay, so now the summary. After you have taken the Bodhisattva vows, make aspirational prayers with respect to how to learn the practice of generosity on the high levels, and then train in these methods. So make aspirational prayers to be able to go beyond where you are, to be able to go to the higher levels, to make your efforts pointed at that ability to proceed further. Understand and learn what is permitted and prohibited with respect to the methods of making gifts that you can engage in right away, as explained above. So what you can do, find out how to do it properly, and then do it. Find out the correct way to engage in the generosity, and then be generous. In particular, you must rely on remedies to stinginess with respect to your body, resources, and roots of virtue. You have to work at remedies for the negativities that will arrive, because stinginess is an obstacle to generosity. So we have to then look at what a remedy first and foremost to the stinginess of body, stinginess of resources, and stinginess of roots of virtue is. Apply the remedy, and then we would be able to be generous, because it serves as an obstacle to that generosity. You must cultivate joy. After you strive to steadily increase your generosity, you must cultivate joy for this practice and generate a feeling of sorrow for not having earlier trained your mind in that way. For as it says in the Questions of Sabahu Sutra, just one thing here. After you strive to steadily increase your generosity, you must cultivate joy for this practice and generate a feeling of sorrow for not having earlier trained your mind in that way. Here, if you rejoice in the good things that you've done, rejoice in your generosity, then this act of rejoicing caused joy to occur and then causes you to want to do it again in the future. So it leaves this in your mental continuum, in your mind, this memory of joy connected to giving. So it makes you want to do so again in the future. For as it says in the Questions of Sabahu Sutra, once you do this, you will be able to complete the perfection of generosity with little difficulty in another lifetime. Whereas if you give all this up and set it aside, not only in this life will you be continually tainted by very grave faults, but in other lives as well you will not want to engage in giving, and it will therefore be extremely difficult to enter into the bodhisattva deeds. So if you do not become familiar with this in the future, you won't do it either. So now, at this time, if you can begin to familiarize yourself with this and begin to look at the faults of not generous and the benefits of being generous, then you will in the future be generous. But if you don't, then this will act as an obstacle to your generosity in future lives and then make it impossible or extremely difficult to enter into the bodhisattva deeds themselves if this is present. Then it says, furthermore, the Compendium of Perfection states, the spirit of enlightenment is the root of such generosity, so do not give up this motive to make such gifts. The Conqueror said, in the world, the supreme form of giving is the wish to give accompanied by the spirit of enlightenment. So it should be a concomitant. The spirit of enlightenment should be mixed with the generosity. You should be giving in order to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. So this is the point. I don't know if Rinpoche read the last paragraph or not. There's a lot there, so I'm going to read it, and just in case he just moves on. Rinpoche, the long, then a Lama son kappa de charan de loson. The long sar. Where are we? I can find where we are. 390. Hold on, I can find it. 390. Shesamba Jupi den Shanchu Gisem Je Sajen Shingombadang Shanchu du Munxing Mulan Tepa Sumja Gochu Toka Sumja Gochu Gochu Good Sumja 390.
Where?
390 Toka.
Does
he have a different book? The cheek.
Shanchu the Meshim, Halon. Should dance, Shanchu dance, na Sejiba the Generation, Yandadu Shanchu does, Shanchu sent the Shobi dance, and the Shanchu sent the Madenje, Shanchu to the Senjin, Senja Taji, the Zulu Sanju Kutuba Shawo Yabe, Senje, and then Shanchu to the Senjin, the Nishido Lauro, that Tomba Jimba, the Nishin, and the Shobi Dan. Shanchu Sen Jesu Tension, Gomba dance, that two Shanchu Sen Gondo, Senja Taji to do Sanju Kutuba Shawo Yabe, San Lu the Liang Gondo. Jesu Tension, Gomba dance. Shanchu to Melanta, Senja Taji to do Sanju Kutuba Juji Yabe, Melanta Ures, Shanchu to Pejin, Melan Deba, Tua Tanjiji, Zawadan. Melan deba, Tonga Tajigan, Zawa Teres, Jimbaton. Zawa Tonga Taji, Jimbaton, Taji, Chu Yimbe, and there was the Senja Taji, Dubu Sanju, Tuba, Shu Jibi, Melan deba, to what the Jimba Tajigan, Churis, Tonga Taji, Chu Yimbe, Telambeba, Kalija Ures. Then Lazang should be.
That's so. Okay, so then thus, being mindful of the spirit of enlightenment, the basis of the bodhisattva deeds, cultivating it, aspiring to enlightenment, and making aspirational prayers to become enlightened, form the root of all giving and supreme kind of giving. So work hard at these. This is the excellent key point that sums up the meaning of the questions of Sabahu Sutra. So one needs to think over and over again and make these aspirational prayers first in order to cultivate the mind that aspires to enlightenment. It says being mindful of the spirit of enlightenment. So thinking again and again about becoming a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings, making aspirational prayers to do so, then cultivating it, and then aspiring to enlightenment and making aspirational prayers to become enlightened form the root of all giving. So at the basis of all generosity that one engages in is this aspiration to become a Buddha, so that all sentient beings become a Buddha for the sake of all of them. It says that kind of giving is the supreme form, the one that's mixed with this aspiration to become enlightened. And making aspirational prayers to become enlightened form the root of all giving and the supreme kind of giving. So work hard at these. This is the excellent key point that sums up the meaning of the questions of Sabahu's Sutra. And it's in Sutrim.
The Gombala Jubi Taji, Chudi Yawaji, Dundua, Jido, Dundua, the Drubi, Tse, Jedajawa, Dundua, Nariva, Chudi Jungo, the Gombala Jubi Top, Chudi Rodu Yawa, Drubi Se Jedajawa, Dundua,
Lesser. Lesser. Okay, so. Now, we've finished the section on so we were going through the perfections. We've finished the section on generosity. So there were 4 categories again. What is generosity? How to begin generosity, the divisions of generosity, and then a summary. And then now we move into ethics. And ethical discipline, the second among the 6 perfections, has 5 categories. 5 categories. What ethical discipline is, how to begin the cultivation of ethical discipline, the divisions of ethical discipline, how to practice, and then a summary. So these are 5 categories. You'll find it on page 142.3 in the English. Okay.
Poi samba tutti imbe senti comba kone kondo yonso zubi tutti ji haru de shimba yoa yinjes haru do senje nati maluba da trawa la gobi gone tutti ji fashin zuban yoa Maides, Chili Pajin Zubanjo, Maide, Tata Maina, Tadun Sejena, no Sitan Madeyu, and then Hashembe, Joanna, Chitin Jiparu, Pashin Mazubanjo Atan, Sejen Tada, Jang, no Sitan Treyu, Shusu, Germany Sheros. Then the Mamudu attack on the Tatombo shooting on the
Mambo,
shooting on that shooting turn shows and shooting the carcer, shooting on that shows in the Rendua. Shooting on la le Tombo
Shina
and then Tombo ne Jen Jetan Cheba Jen, Susu Miami Jen, Neba Jetan Cheba le Ilube. Bon samba de shooting sending shows na bon samba shooting sendings bon samba na le ji jun nga gi jun yi ji jun de bon samba de shooting ja ores Jela Neba, Jena Jebale, Shilubi, Pung Samba the Treating in base, Pung Samba Treatise, Pung Samba Treatise. That Treating one Jaju de la Shida Mawadan, Tanju Treating one Jaju dan, Dudubasu Treating one Jatu Niro, Mon Shemezo de Tanju Jan, Dudubasu Pung Samba dus. Treating one de Sota Dombe, Sota Treating one de Mon Shemezo dus, Shida my Treating one Zoin Secrets, Tanju Jan, Oma Tanju Zoin Lagres. Duduba su Pung Samba dus, Duduba dan, Sanzamba, Ranjuba to Pung Samba de Treating one Jagres, Tanan de Pung Samba de Redua.
Then a Shedamawa dan Uma Tanjor Chipa.
Tanju ni de Zoin
Zoo, okay.
Sota Domba Zoins, Mon Shemen Zone de Tanju Jan, Duduba su Pung Samba dus. What the Duduba su Pung Samba de.
Then Dodepa Garisum.
Duduba dan, then Ranjuba to Sanzamba. Treating one shows and not any shows and not Pung Samba churches, Pung Samba. One day Pung Samba leg doa.
Ale, going Sheba. Ale, Sheba.
Sheba de Sheba.
Ale. Go get
me. Samba down.
Lesson.
Pung Samba. Gundunga non the Samba said Marba.
Ale, intention, Samba. Okay. So we begin with what ethical discipline is. What is the definition of ethical discipline? And ethical discipline is an attitude of abstention. So that would mean an intention. How should I do this? Let me read this all first. Ethical discipline is an attitude of abstention that turns your mind away from harming others and from the sources of such harm. Therefore, you bring about the perfection of ethical discipline by progressively increasing your habituation to this attitude until you reach completion. However, it is not the case that you bring the perfection of ethical discipline to completion in the external world by establishing beings in a state free of all harm. Otherwise, since there are still living beings who are not free from harm, the conquerors who visited the past would absurdly not have completed the perfection of ethical discipline, and would therefore also the perfection of their ethical discipline, and would therefore also not be able to guide these beings to freedom from harm. Hence, whether all living beings in the external world are freed or are not freed from harm makes no difference in this context. So Rinpoche stopped around there and said there's a lot of information here, and then started to explain some things. When we look at the definition of ethical discipline, which in short is attitude of abstention, we see that that has to be according to the schools other than the Middle Way, Consequence, and the Great Exposition School. Because the Great Exposition School concurs with the Middle Way Consequence School that the vow, for instance, the individual liberation vow, the ethical, which is ethics, individual liberation vow is form. According to the highest school, the Middle Way Consequence, and the Great Exposition School. The other schools believe that it's consciousness, intention. So the Sutra School, the Mind-Only School, and the Middle Way Autonomy School all believe that it is consciousness. So you see in this an attitude of abstention. Attitude is intention, which is a mental factor. So we would find that it would fall categorically under that which is mutually exclusive with form. So this attitude of abstention is according to the Sutra School definition, because it falls categorically under intention, and that which is one among the 5 omnipresent mental factors, I believe. Intention is one of them, one among the 5. Yes, feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and mental engagement. Okay. Then Semjongyen, then the Dodepa Semsampa Dang. Semjong. Then Sheba.
Sheba.
Okay, I did the Data Lagu. then ye checking. Okay, so I think that's everything Rinpoche stated. Then the Garishene, the Lama Tsongkhapa Umi Tenjo Dawa, the Kelangamare, the Tsuchim. So I was asking Rinpoche why Lama Tsongkhapa chose not to use the highest view, and he said, I don't know. Maybe you have some questions, Rinpoche said, because we're going to start a new section. Maybe we could have some questions, and then we'll end the class. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. I don't know if it's a full moon or what, but it was a little rocky start, and I apologize. Yeah, Sasha? Sasha Trioyure? This shade of Yabudu, Sabudu, Rinpoche.
Thank you for teaching us, Rinpoche. First, I missed last week. I apologize. I haven't had a chance to catch up. But it did seem the text from the class before, maybe I missed the point in the middle, but seemed to contradict in giving texts away. At first, what I remember first saying that if you haven't finished a text, and someone asks for it, and it's not going, your wisdom wouldn't be complete if you gave that text away. And then today it seemed that, so what, you give your text away, you're cultivating generosity. So how would I differentiate, or how would someone differentiate when it's appropriate to finish the book and complete your wisdom, or practice generosity and give the text away?
And so is it say, I just want to make sure I'm asking the question right. Is it say previously in here that you shouldn't give it away if you haven't finished the text?
Yes, I believe so. I was just trying to find exactly where.
Does it say that you should kindly explain why you can't? Is that in the section?
Possibly. I'm just, again.
Okay, the Lamrim Chenmo, the Dunda Ni, the Yure, the Nkontriwa, the Tsansan, the Becha Yuna, the Mejenda, the Becha Gu. Yine Matsar, Lo Matsar, the Tegamare. Then a tearing, the Tegare, Gangin, the Ngama Tegamare, Gangin Sena Chiran Sherap, Kangamare. Then the Becha Tena, Sherat Cherap, Cherangi Sherap, June Yongare. Then a tearing, Te. Gangin Sena Chiran de Sonamsa. Then Chiran de Sanlo Garayube. Gangin Sena, the Becha Yuna, Yene Lo Samason, then Me Jendagu. Yene Nge Sherap, Kangamare, Malona. Then the Lamrim Chemo Ngama, Tegamare. Then Tearing, Te. Then Gelwa de Sanlo, Sampa. Lamrim Chemo Gelwa Gechishe. Oh, so Rinpoche is saying that he remembers the section, and that they say that if there are points that are made alongside that to give the person money for making a copy, if there's a case where you haven't finished it for some reason, it says that you can give the person the money to make a copy of it or something like that. So it gives alternatives in that case. And I asked Rinpoche, well, then how do you know? He said that you have to look at it in each case by case to whether or not you should give it, if it's your only book and it's the only book and you can never get another book. Then the Sanlogar Yube, Gangin Sena, the cheek, then ngul te digre, then cheek, becha te, the nge loma son digsong, sena yuna. Sena yuna. Rebe. So it also is a relation to whether you have miserliness, if you have attachment in relation to that object, that you should give it to. If you have, or if attachment, it says you should give it to combat your miserliness. So there's a lot. You have to. Rinpoche is saying you have to look at each individual case and go look at it, each individual case and decide what's best for that situation. But yeah, absolutely. I remember now. It does absolutely say that.
I have a question. I'm wondering that.
근데 주로 야보 강연스는데 아마 태그 말해. tearing take.
The question in the practice of Tonglen and how that fits of taking in all the suffering of all people, and then even ones that give you difficulty and so forth, and giving them all the benefits that you have to them. How that fits in with this teaching? Is that a mental thing, or is there something more to that?
The Tonglen sanodang. Then Tonglen Jimba dang Jawa gare. Jimba dang Tonglen Jawa gare.
Tonglen Jimba ro de Jimba. Go pa tang go Jimba ro. Dunge tselen go ro.
So Rinpoche said that
so go to yo kabi na ba na gu yon ba na pa tuen ne. Sijen tsaji la bu ne. Sijen tsaji de wa da ba jo song nya ba. Shamba Guya. Tse Ten de Yue Nabi Naba, Dogen Gangalo, Tse Tesuniabi, Siena Dogen the Tesuniabi, Niji Guya. Or the Shamba and Niji Guya.
So when we meditate on the Tonglen practice, we are meditating on love and compassion, and the love part is actually generosity. We're engaging in generosity. So the way that we do Tonglen is that we imagine that all of our root virtues in the form of a white light are given, exhaled through our nostril and given to the person or persons that are the objects of our observation of our Tonglen, giving and taking practice. So that's actually generosity. When the first part of Tonglen, when we imagine that we're the giving part, we're giving away all of our root virtues and so forth, that's generosity. And that also is, while we're engaging in the giving, we're imagining that we're fulfilling the goal of love, and that is that may all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. So that idea that may all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness is love. So you are giving, in a sense, love. You're being generous with love in the case of the giving and taking practice, because you're giving them everything, all of your root virtues, and you're imagining that they're receiving them in the form of this white light through your left nostril. And then when you inhale, you imagine that you're taking their suffering away in the form of a black light. So you imagine that in this black light that's coming into your right nostril as you inhale is taking away their suffering. And that's a meditation on compassion. You're hoping that the object or objects of your observation are being free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So when you're taking in the form of a black light, you're imagining that you're taking on all the suffering and causes of suffering. So that's meditation on compassion. So then when you're giving, you're imagining that the sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. So you're interchanging this giving of happiness and love with this taking of suffering in the practice of compassion. So the connection is that you're being generous in one sense of the giving part. So that's the connection to between Tonglen and generosity. So if right before we go to sleep, if the last thing we do is think of Tonglen, then our entire sleep is virtuous.
We're
able to do the giving and taking practice all the time. We can do it while we're even driving. Even while we're driving. And if you can think like this, it's very beneficial for you. may all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Happiness, suffering. Giving happiness, taking suffering. Anyone else before we end?
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do the concluding mandala offering and dedication prayers. And again, thank you, everyone. And thank you for your patience with my reading the wrong section of the book. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure. Dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traversed 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness, all-powerful Avalokiteshvara, Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts, with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Geshe Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denalang Atsu Lamrim Shamo Kanga Chil.